Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to shine a spotlight on the Orville's Chief of Security, Lieutenant Alara Katan. Alara is the youngest aboard the ship. Well, she was until Bortus shot an egg out of his butt, or penis, or you know what? I'm choosing to believe it was a butt egg because imagining the latter is seriously giving me phantom pains right now. Though Alara is the youngest and least experienced bridge officer on the ship, she believes Captain Mercer and the crew can count on her because of the fact that she's Zelayan. Planet Zelaya's gravitational pull is extremely high compared to the planetary average, so she has what's considered super strength by Earth standards. Alara is inexperienced, yes, but she's basically Superman. I mean, Superwoman, because equality. In episode 4, If the Stars Should Appear, Alara gets shot in the chest, but survives because besides having super strength and being able to leap small buildings in a single bound, her alien physiology is also very dense because of the high gravity of her planet. And this has me thinking, if she grew up on a planet with like crazy high gravity, does that mean that she's probably a lot heavier than she looks? Does Alara weigh like 500 pounds? And because of her weight, does that mean that she's actually obtainable to a guy like me because she's insecure about her weight? Going out with a real girl sure would beat having to hug the donkey every night. Alara Katan is actually the character that started my obsession with the Orville. And no, not for pervert reasons, though I've read what some of you guys are saying about her out there on the interwebs, and you all need to calm down, sirs. Her eyebrows are up here. I'm talking about episode 2, Command Performance. In this episode, Ed and Kelly leave Alara in command of the ship, and she kind of freaks out a little bit, losing faith in herself because she's just not used to that kind of responsibility or pressure. Eventually, with the help of the crew, she regains her confidence and overcomes her fears. I mean, it was great. This is the type of story that let me know that the Orville is picking up right where 90s Star Trek left off, and why I'm making this video right now. The Orville, or aka Seth Trek, which is a term I'm trying to patent, is the type of sci-fi that's been lost to us for a very long time now, and it's so great to have it back. And it doesn't hurt that the Orville's resident badass is also easy on the eyes. Her eyes that are attached to her brain, which is what I respect. And for those of you who are wondering, Alara Katan is played by Halston Sage, a 24-year-old actress born and raised in Los Angeles. You might have seen her in Grown Ups 2, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, Goosebumps, Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures, what the fuck? Or in the movie Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. She also loves dogs! Oh, and here's a bit of Hollywood trivia for you. Halston Sage actually dated Zac Efron in real life because Zac Efron is the devil. Here's a gratuitous montage of pictures of Halston Sage set to classic country music. Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.
Deep in your smile, there's a quiet, soft desire, like the ember.
One last thing I want to bring up before I go is the fact that Alara Katan obviously had plastic surgery between episodes 1 and episodes 2. I mean, I don't really know why she thought she needed it, but check her out in episode 1, Old Wounds. Now here she is in episode 2, Command Performance. She had a forehead reduction with artificial eyebrows implanted above her eyes, and I don't know why. Sure, emotionally she's a bit easier to read, and she's able to emote to her fellow crew members better, and she's hotter, I mean feminism, but she looked great the way she was before, and I hope she didn't undergo surgery for the wrong reasons to make other people happy. There's nothing wrong with not having eyebrows. Just ask Marilyn Manson.
I can tell you're not about to fall for any of my life.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome to this very special behind the scenes episode of Talking the Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about other people's business that has nothing to do with us, because this is the internet and that's what we do. So besides the Orville bringing sci-fi and comedy fans together in a harmonious mashup of Trek nostalgia, great writing, likable characters, and space exploration, all mixed with just the right amount of dick jokes. The show also allowed for the coming together of two lonely hearts looking for the love of their lives in this crazy world. The star and creator of The Orville, Seth MacFarlane, and actress Halston Sage, who plays Alara Katan, the chief security officer on the ship, are now dating in real life. And it looks like this union of these two lovely people who play two of our favorite characters on the show are in love, and it's wonderful, really. I mean, this is for reals. It's love, you guys, and love is a wonderful thing. If you can find it, you hold on to it at all costs. Halston, Seth seems like a great guy with a good heart and a great personality, and that golden voice. I mean, my panties are getting moist right now. And Seth, Halston is a beautiful woman who can shine a light into even the darkest of worlds. Anyone would be lucky to be with her, and you guys need to stop this madness before you ruin the best sci-fi show to boldly go since Star Trek. I'm sorry, but it's time for tough love. What the hell is wrong with you two? Seth, you're 44 years old, 20 years older than she is. When Family Guy aired 18 years ago, Seth was still 2 years older than Halston Sage is today. Hey, even though it's kind of creepy, if you guys want to bang it out and have a good time, I get it. I don't want people to not bang if they want to bang. You're both adults. Get your rocks off, you guys. Except don't! Not the two of you. You both are main characters on The Orville. Seth, you're the creator and main star of the show. You're her boss, dude. Halston, you're sleeping with your older boss, all right? This will not end well, which would be your own business if you weren't putting the future of the show at risk, which now makes it my business. I'm sure Halston is much more mature than most people her age, and we all know the condition of Seth's maturity level. He's fun. He likes to have fun. But that's not going to keep this relationship together. A relationship with this wide of an age gap, with the youngest person being in their early 20s, never works out. Well, it does sometimes work out, you know, like with arranged marriages. If we were to move forward 16 years when Halston is 40 years old and Seth is 60 years old, which is only 16 years from now, he will be 60 years old, I'd be like, fine, do what you guys want to do. Do some gross stuff in the bedrooms or go to a hotel room, get your hands all over each other. I don't care. You guys can do what you want. You're super adults at that point. Date while working on the show. And the words of the great Third Eye Blind, do ever what you want to do coming over you. But eventually, Seth, you're going to get tired of making pop culture references that she doesn't get because she wasn't alive in 1992. I live by the moral standard myself that you should never knock boots with anyone who doesn't know all the lyrics to I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. And Halston, you're going to start to resent Seth because he doesn't want to go hiking at Runyon on Sundays and have brunch at Fred Siegel's with Scott Kahn and his crew, or spend 3 days hopped up on shrooms at Burning Man. Well, he might want to do that. But the other stuff he definitely will not want to do. But what happens when it all goes south, which it will most likely go south, and you have to work together on the set of The Orville? You guys aren't going to work well together, and it's going to be awkward, like when Ed found out that his ex-wife Kelly is being assigned as his first officer, and everyone's like, okay, that's really weird. And it was weird. Things are going so well, you guys. Please don't screw this up. The Orville is going to be going into production with his second season just next month. And I know you guys have had a fun break. You know, Seth, you're putting your hands everywhere on Alara Katan's body. Good for you, bud. We need all these characters to be on the show, and we need everyone to get along as much as possible behind the scenes while filming the next 13 seasons of The Orville. It's really important to a lot of people. So you guys need to figure this out and end this amicably right now before things go too far. Like that time I had a misunderstanding with a leprechaun.
Oh, Jesus, sense begorra! Don't be trying to steal me pot of gold!
What? I can't. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah?
How's it going?
No, I'm just making a video, doing a taste test
How you recording?
for Shamrock Shake.
Oh, leprechaun.
No, I didn't mean to. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was your
I
child.
want to share with you the best swear
No, I
words
wasn't
I've
trying to be
heard. Let's
racist.
see. It's like, look at this.
You can kiss my purple horseshoe, leprechaun. President Trump!
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the future of Alara Katan in Season 2 of the show. I've come across some info via the internet recently, and as all of us know very well, that if it's on the internet, there's a 99% chance that it's completely true. I spent most of my life thinking the earth was round until the internet provided me with demonstrable evidence of the contrary. So I got my eyeballs on some information about Alara in Season 2, and despite all that BS I was just talking about the internet, I want to be clear that this is hearsay, okay? Hearsay. If you don't know what hearsay means, it's that thing when you're like watching an episode of Law and Order, and like the prosecutor on the case tells the person on the stand that, oh, on the night in question, the proprietor of the caviar store says he helped the defendant when he came in to get his monocle polished, which places him and you on the scene, sir. Then the defense lawyer stands up and says, oh, no way, objection, your honor, hearsay. And then the judge, taps his little judge hammer on his desk and he says, yeah, mistrial, you just got law and ordered. I mean, I don't really know. It's something like that. I've never really watched it. So the info that I came across on the Orville and Alara Katan is that she's going to get killed off in episode 2 of this season. Now, apparently, and again, this is hearsay. Don't make me explain again what hearsay is. I'll go full Matlock this time, okay? I'll get folksy on you if I have to. But from what I heard, Halston Sage and Seth MacFarlane's relationship didn't go so well, and Halston isn't necessarily well liked on the set. So they're killing her off, and she's going to be replaced with a new character, maybe a family member or something like that. I don't know. It might be all untrue, okay? Now this could be a bunch of BS, but it's something that I heard and I wanted to share with you guys because I don't have any friends and I needed to talk to somebody about it, so I might as well talk about it with you guys. Because talking about the Orville is my self-proclaimed duty. It's what I do for the world, okay? I talk about it, but I am filing this information in my G folder. G is for gossip. Like I'm sure all of you are hoping that this is all untrue. Alara Katan is a great character on the show, you guys. I love that she's, very inexperienced and small and petite, but has the strength of 10 men. It's an interesting dilemma for a character to have to deal with, and it's a bit of fun for the audience to watch. As far as in front of the camera, I think Halston Sage has done a great job at bringing Alara to life. I don't want to disparage her without knowing for sure what's going on. And if this is true, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this, you guys, I told you so. I told you this would happen. But we have no idea if this happened or is going to happen. But there was another bit of information that came along with the Alara information that I saw. It's about episode 1 of the new season, which was actually supposed to be part of the first season, but they moved it to like the first episode of this season. There's supposed to be some sort of side plot, I'm sure it's a comedy plot, about Bortus and porn, which is already hilarious now that I think about it. I mean, what would Bortus think of porn? When we tune in later this year to the premiere of Season 2, and if Bortus's porn plot is in that episode, then we'll know that there's a good chance that the Alara Katan's exit story from the show has a bigger probability of also being true. It won't look good, but we don't know what's going to happen, okay? Look, I'm hoping this is all just some troll spreading lies and that Alara isn't going anywhere because she's a great character. If she's gone, who's going to open Captain Mercer's jar of pickles every week when he gets in a jam? Sad face emoji, you guys. It's like Tasha Yar all over again. Oh, Denise Crosby, what are we going to do? 6, 7. Oh, lifting heavy things is so easy for me. God, I love working out.
JP.
Yes, what is it, Alexa?
Incoming message coming in from the Ego computer. It's marked urgent as F.
Urgent as F? Well, that sounds important. What does it say?
It says the Orville has cast a new series regular for season 2.
What? A new permanent cast member to season 2 of The Orville has been found. It looks like that 1.5K marathon is gonna have to wait, old chum. Alexa, oh God. To the ego computer. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the latest addition to the Orville crew, Jessica Szohr. The news just hit the internet the other day, and while I was excited to hear about it, I had to admit, I had no idea who Jessica Szohr is. So okay, maybe I'm not hip and with it and know who's on television all the time, and you guys do. Big whoop. You want to fight about it? So I looked Jessica up on the interwebs moviedatabase.com and learned that she's best known for playing Vanessa Abrams on the CW's Gossip Girl and has been in such movies as Piranha 3D and Two Night Stand. She's also been on like a million different TV shows, including Shameless, the Twin Peaks revival, and the USA Network's Complications. Did it get renewed for a second season? Well, there were complications. I also noticed on her list of movies that she's done that she had a role in Ted 2, which many of you know is a Seth MacFarlane joint where the voice of Brian the dog from Family Guy plays a teddy bear that comes to life and who's best friends with Marky Mark. Before recording this episode of Talking The Orville, I looked her up on YouTube. I wanted to see what she looked like, sounded like, what her vibe kind of was. Here's how that went. Okay, let's see what we have here. It says right here on the Ego computer, that the Orville has cast Jessica Szohr as a series regular. But who's Jessica Szohr? Well, let's go on YouTube. See if we can find her. Jessica Szohr. Jessica Szohr pole dance rehearsal for the movie The Internship. Well, let's do our due diligence and see what that is. Damn it, Jim. She's fucking hot. Talented.
Darling, just don't put down your guns yet. If there really was a God here.
Needless to say, details about Jessica's character, like everything else on The Orville, is being tightly kept under wraps, which is something I appreciate. I like surprises, you guys. Now, we have no idea what her character is going to be or where on the ship she's going to fit in. Currently, I can think of 2 spots that are a possibility. The most likely spot being that she's going to be sitting next to Gordon in John Lamar's previous position as ship's navigator. Going forward in season 2, John is going to be spending all of his time in engineering, and every time they have filled his seat on the show, it's always been a female character. So having Jessica play that role, jump into that chair would make sense. Now, as a huge Trekkie, I'd love to see Isaac sitting in that chair for obvious reasons, but I really don't see that happening. That would be a little too on the nose. There's also another option that I see as a possibility if, for instance, someone was going to be leaving the show this season, assuming the gossip about Halston Sage leaving the show is actually true, which we have no idea if it's true. Gossip. Hashtag possibly fake news. We don't know. But this is my show. I can speculate wildly about anything I want because I'm a sad, lonely, overweight loser with a borderline petter beard who has nothing better to do. If Alara were being written off the show's going to need a replacement to not only fill the role of the chief of security, but also fill the void of the character's journey that has been created to have a certain dynamic for the storytelling purposes of the show. It would suck to lose that dynamic on the show. So what if Alara has a cousin? Let's say her cousin's name is Jessica Katan. Jessica Katan comes to take the place of Alara in honor of her fallen cousin who died, saving the entire ship and crew from a krill attack. It's part of the Selayan custom to have a family member of a similar height, weight, hair color, and demeanor fill the shoes of their fallen family member to help out those who counted on that person in life until a permanent replacement can be found. How do I know so much about Selayan culture, you ask? I completely made it up, but it would totally set the stage, set the groundwork to bring Jessica in to play that role, wouldn't it? Like lifting heavy things, TV writing is crazy easy, you guys. Now, I want to reiterate, I have no more information than any of you do about the show. We have no idea what role Jessica Szohr is going to play on the Orville later this year when it returns. We don't know what color uniform she'll be wearing at all. Will she be wearing orange, sitting next to Gordon? Maybe she'll be wearing red like Alara. Perhaps she'll assist Dr. Finn in sickbay and have a green uniform. Blue would also be a nice option. Yeah. Will she further complicate Ed and Kelly's already extremely complicated relationship? Maybe she shouldn't date anyone on the crew at all and give someone else a chance. A kind, funny yet serious man with a heart of gold who does an incredibly underrated show on YouTube that is adored and loved by tens of hundreds of fans. A man talking to a woman, asking her out for dinner. Nothing fancy, just some burgers and shakes over at Mel's Diner. Not the one on Hollywood Boulevard, no. That location's for tourists. The one on Ventura Boulevard, across the street from the Rouse Fresh Fare Market. A man who's free this Tuesday at 7 p.m. No, you know what? Make it 7:30. Afterwards, dancing. He knows a place on La Cienega where the brass poles are known to be adequately sanitized. Hey Jessica, I'm JP, and if you're looking for a man piece, you can probably do better than me.
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. I've been gone for a couple weeks, so today we're going to have a great time talking about all the news, well, most of the news that's been coming out about Season 2 of The Orville for the last few weeks. Turns out you can learn a lot from social media. I mean, it would be ridiculous to break all this info up into separate episodes. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't got time for that. I gotta go to work every day. I got bills to pay. I'm gonna pack all that info right into this episode, this very awesome, the Orville Special Gigante! Filming has already started for Season 2 of The Orville a couple of weeks ago, and behind-the-scenes pics have already been flowing in from the cast and crew. Also, it's been revealed by Seth MacFarlane himself on the Twitter that Robert Picardo has already filmed a cameo as Alara's father in the show, just like he did last season. Why would Alara's father show up again so early on in the season? Does Alara need to speak to him for some reason? Well, I've stumbled across a possible inside scoop from a supposed source close to production regarding that rumor that Alara might possibly be written off the show. More on that scoop later. One thing I do know is that everybody's favorite elevator DJ from last season, Lieutenant Dan, played by Mike Henry, will be returning in Season 2. Here he is seen with world-renowned astropsychiatrist Neil deGrasse Tyson on the bridge of the ship. Dr. deGrasse Tyson isn't necessarily making a cameo on the show. Let's get that straight, okay? He was probably just paying a visit to his buddies Seth MacFarlane and Brandon Braga, who are also executive producers on his science fact series on Fox, Cosmos, which is also coming back this year. And it didn't take long for Neil and Lieutenant Dan to bro out pretty hard on Instagram.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Mike Henry. I'm playing Dan on the Orville.
You sound like Cleveland.
That's because I am Cleveland. Taking a bath, taking a bath. No, 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 no!
One of the best sources for behind-the-scenes info actually comes from John Lamar himself, Jay Lee. He's always posted behind-the-scenes shots. I don't know if he should even be talking about this stuff.
No. We're talking about this.
Does not seem appropriate.
Oh, no, we're definitely talking about it. This is a thing.
This pic he posted online reveals we're going to be seeing some sort of two-horned lizard rhino alien in Season 2. But look at the caption. I'ma find out if I can let the cat out of the bar. Okay, he probably meant bag on that one, you guys, so don't hold that against him. He is the smartest person on the ship next to Isaac. But there's a legend under this makeup joining hashtag the Orville. But I have no idea what legend this could be that he's talking about. It could be a legend of tomorrow for all I know, but I hope it's not because that show sucks. So I do have this picture up right now on egotasticfuntime.com. Some of you need to go there and stare at this thing
for hours on end if you have to and see if you can figure out who it is under the makeup. And then you need to let me know, because I need to know these things, you guys, so go check it out. One thing I learned is that the shuttle pods are getting a paint job in season 2. I saw an awesome picture of it on the interwebs. Somebody took it they were on the back lot, but it was taken down from Instagram before I could get a screenshot of it. So sorry about that, guys. My bad. I was too slow to pull the trigger on that one. I should have known better. This has happened to me before. The internet is a fickle bitch. Hey, here's some behind the scenes footage of Gordon Malloy, played by Scott Grimes, on set of what looks like it might be an environmental simulator scene where a possible alternate planetary union uniform is being worn. And I'm assuming it's a uniform by the cut of it and the shoulders being padded to shit, but maybe it's just some sort of 25th century club attire or something like that. I'm not gonna remark on Scott Grimes' Michael Jackson moves, you guys. I'm not going to comment on that. I mean, it kind of weirds me out a little bit. I mean, they're kind of at too good of a level just to be random, right? Like, that's like 3 revolutions on that turn. You don't just like do that if you're joking around. You kind of have to practice that in a mirror for like a ton of hours, making sure no one sees you because you're not good at it yet. Then you go to bed alone because while all your friends were out hanging out and being social, you were in your room just practicing your little Michael Jackson twirl. And then you finally bust it out at a party and people are like, yeah, great. But it's kind of weird when a ginger does it. Like I said, maybe Gordon's just going out to the club to pick up on bitches, chicks, women, people. Could be hitting on dudes too. He could swing both ways in a respective, consensual way that would be acceptable in society in 2018 especially. Some people just refer to women's bodies all the time, but not me. I prefer women with voluptuous brains. With me, if I'm on a date, I'm so into the girl's mind that sometimes they're like, hey, I really appreciate this thoughtful and engaging conversation we're having about the universe and geography, but my boobs are down here, buddy. Because I'm looking at her eyes. So, equality. Last year, one of the biggest letdowns from season 1 is that we were teased with the prospect of seeing Bortus sing My Heart Will Go On from the soundtrack of the 1997 instant classic / blockbuster hit Titanic. But I've got something for you that will hopefully get you through that big letdown, at least for a little bit. Katan can also sing.
I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. People stop, they stare, they don't bother me, 'cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be than on Orville, baby, on Fox with Seth MacFarlane. 'Cause there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be.
As I told you in a previous episode, Jessica Szohr has been cast to play a new cast member in season 2. I even hypothesized that she might play a Solayan to replace Alara as chief of security if Alara were to happen to be written off the show. If that happens, we don't know. But so far, Jessica's character is being shrouded in secrecy. We don't know why. But what I can tell you is this. She's definitely going to be an alien for sure, probably. Here's a behind-the-scenes still of her getting a live cast done so the makeup artist can create a custom-fit makeup appliance for her. This is a process actors go through when they're going to have some hardcore prosthetics in a shot. This is what they do for Bortus, the Krill, Darulio, all that jazz, you guys. But look. They're casting that green goo all the way down to her chesticles. They don't make that intense of a casting for some light forehead and ear prosthetics, you guys, okay? Jessica still might be replacing Halston on the bridge if the rumor turns out to be true, but she's not gonna be a Solayan, okay? She's gonna be way more alienish. Thanks to another video posted to social media by Jay Lee, who plays John Lamar on the show, some bits of information about production episode 201 have been revealed at a recent script reading by the cast.
Back with these hooligans.
It's a video?
Yep. Season 2.
The Hooligan.
Orville.
Season 2.
Did you see it? It was right there in front of your eyeballs. Did you notice it? Alexa, go back to time index 32 of the video, please.
Okay.
Here we see Mark Jackson, who plays Isaac, and Scott Grimes chatting, and then boom, there it is. Alexa, enhance.
Okay.
Alexa, try cleaning up the image by 35%. There, we can clearly read the English words written on the page. JP, you brilliant son of a bitch. Here's what we can read from the scene. Take note that a pen gets in the way of a lot of the words, so we're just gonna have to make do, but here, check it out. Angle on a 1940s era phonograph, which plays as time goes by. Far to find Ed sitting alone at the bar. Canute gives him a drink. Ed, how long you had that thing? Canute, had the computer replicate it last week. I'm trying to warm this place up a little, you know? Get a nice vibe going. Ed, the late 10 jazz. Depressing. Blur, blur, blur. At the pen, same time. I can help you there. Canute serves pen. Here you go. Ed, you know what the worst days are? Pen. The days when you can't pen, and just watch. Alara appears. Alara, mind if I join you? Ed, sure, have a seat. I can see no. It's just a bunch of random words, but we can kind of tell what's going on. Most of the scene is pretty self-explanatory. Ed is depressed, no doubt not doing well with the whole can't date my ex-wife thing. Sorry, bud, I know how that one feels, okay? But what I'm really interested in knowing is what Alara wants to talk with Ed about. As I said before, Sir Robert Picardo is returning to the Orville this season as Idris Katan. I've talked about that there's a rumor that Alara might be written off the show. I've actually come across some supposedly inside information that Seth and the producers of the Orville, and don't make me have to explain this again, you guys, okay? But this is all hearsay. Nothing on the internet is true until you see it on the show. We were told we were getting 13 episodes in season 1, and that turned out to be a big fat lie propagated by TV studio treachery. This is gossip. GOSSISSIPPI. Gossip. But I have heard that Seth and the producers don't want to kill Alara off without testing the waters first. Alara Katan has become a fan favorite for the show, okay? They're gonna want to see how fans react if her character leaves. That way, if there's a big backlash or ratings drop or anything like that, they could just bring her right back on. Now, of course, we all know fans of the show will be outraged for a few days if she leaves for even one episode. But then something else will happen on the internet. Trump will do something, well, you don't know, and they'll just be outraged about that and forget all about Alara. So wouldn't it make sense that if they wanted to test the waters of getting rid of her, that they'd find instead a reason for Alara to step away from her role as chief of security for just a little bit, for just some reason she needs to step away? How could they do that? Easy, bitches. I'm a genius. Alara is from the planet Szohr, okay? A planet with an extremely high level of gravity. Growing up in a high gravity environment is what has given Alara her powers of super strength and high resilience and all that stuff, okay? But she's been away from her planet for a very long time now. Away from the high levels of gravity her and her people have evolved to endure. Just like astronauts in space who have to work out all the time to avoid having their muscles atrophy while in zero gravity, the longer Alara is away from her planet, the weaker she's gonna get. It just makes sense. It's something we've all theorized about on the Talking The Orville live show, which is coming back in the fall of 2018. As soon as the Orville comes back on air, we're gonna be right there talking about it right before it airs. Yeah. Alara is getting weaker. What if it's gotten to the point that Alara actually breaks an arm or something in the line of duty and everyone on the crew is shocked? We already know that in episode 201 of the new season, Alara wants to talk to Ed while he's having a drink in the mess hall. We also know from everything we've seen in season 1 that anytime Alara wants to have a conversation with Ed, it has to do with her ability to do her job as head of security. If Alara is becoming weaker, she's gonna want to leave her post, at least temporarily, while she goes back to her home world or somewhere like that to recuperate, which is why we're getting a cameo by her father, played by Robert Picardo, thus providing an opening for Jessica Szohr, or maybe some other person, to take Alara's place while she's gone. We'll just have to wait and see if more information comes out about this topic, okay? And when it does,
I'll be there to tell you about it. This scenario will allow the show to check in with Alara via Skype or whatever they use in the 25th century to talk to people. The view screen, it's annoying. It will also allow for the opportunity for the crew to visit the planet Seleia, which is something I know we fans are clamoring for. What the hell would happen to Yaphet if he was on the planet Seleia? He would just be a pancake.
It's nice just to be able to spread out at the end of a long shift.
I'm not going to say where I got this info or that it's even true, but I heard it. And whether it's true or not, it's worth talking about because that's what I do. God, you guys, it's like Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responses in the comments section of your YouTube videos.
I'm so tired of your shenanigans. See you next time.
Well. Look who had the scoop all along. Me, JP. JP, you son of a bitch. Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. I'm actually delaying the episode I was working on for Talking The Orville on why Star Trek exists in the Orville universe in order to bring you this breaking Orville season dose news. Just yesterday, the Orville cast and crew landed at California State University Northridge in front of the Oviatt Library to film a scene for the upcoming season. And thanks to Talking the Orville superfan Kevin Cease, who sent me behind the scenes pics posted by user GetOtter here on Imager.com, it looks like we're getting our first glimpse of Jessica Szohr's new character on the show. Now I hope you guys are sitting down for this because for what I can tell in these pictures, it looks like the rumors that I told you about months ago about Halston Sage being replaced as head of security might actually be true. I told you guys this and you guys didn't believe me. Who's laughing now? I'm laughing. Ha! Check out these pictures that were taken from behind the scenes just yesterday. Here we see Ed, Kelly, Bortis, and Claire at what looks like it might be Union Point. There's also a security officer as part of the away team. It's hard to be certain that it's Jessica Szohr from this pic, but it's definitely not Halston Sage. So look at this pic of Jessica Szohr, okay? Now look at the security officer. That hairstyle on the security officer looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? I wonder who it could be. And the more I look at these pics, the more I'm 99.3% sure this is Jessica Szohr. Okay, so I'll admit, it's really hard to tell if it's her from these pictures. I mean, if only I had a video with a close-up of the actress playing this female Selean security officer, just to be sure, it would really help out. Oh wait, I do! Here we see Seth and the rest of the crew walking toward camera, and then, what? Who's that? Who could it be? I don't know. Kind of looks like Jessica Szohr to me. Now I'm 99.9% sure that it's her. But just to be safe, let me cross-reference this with the footage of Jessica Szohr preparing for her role in the internship. Yep, yep. Everything seems to check out here, you guys. I also took a gander at Jessica's Instagram page, and it looks like she recently posted a quick video yesterday of the shuttle pod from the CSUN shoot. She was on set. Penny Johnson-Gerald, who plays Dr. Finn, also posted a picture from the shoot on Twitter yesterday with the caption, "Sister hug aboard." This is obviously Kelly, Claire, and Jessica Szohr's new character in the frame. The faces are cut off in the frame because we're not allowed to see Jessica's face because her character is supposed to be top secret. But since I don't work for the show yet, I'm not obligated to keep production secrets, so here you go. If that was Halston Sage in this picture, the faces wouldn't be cropped out. Now, I hate to say that I told you so, but I totally told you so. Also, I love telling people that I told them so. Let's get something straight right now, okay? This doesn't mean that Halston Sage is completely off the show. I explained in a previous video how Seth and the producers might keep her on if there's too much of a fan backlash. Stay tuned to the end of this episode for an opportunity to watch that episode and get caught up on my theory of Alara's possible departure from the show, which is probably true, you guys. But it's still not official, okay? So don't freak out. There might be plenty of Alara coming up in season 2. What else can we see in these pictures to gather more information about the new season, or at least this episode? It looks like the away team has returned to Earth, or perhaps the science station they visited in the series pilot, Old Wounds. These people in the background are obviously extras, and from the way they're horribly dressed, it looks like some of them might be reporters looking for a scoop.
the Orville finally returns home, or if it makes its way to that science station where all of its adventures started off, it would make sense that it would be a huge story for 25th Century Society. I mean, think of all the amazing things that happened to the Orville on its maiden voyages. They ran into Liam Neeson at one point. That doesn't happen every day. The extras are also being kept at bay by Planetary Union guards, so this must be an important meeting, or heightened security is at that science station because the Krill are probably after the banana ray technology again. But who is this white-haired man that Ed and the team are meeting up with? At first glance, I thought it might be a cameo by Trek alumni Brent Spiner. Kind of looks like him, right? But then someone mentioned that it's probably Dr. Aronov, who was played by Brian George in the pilot episode. But of course, if you go back to that video of Jessica Szohr as a Selayan female that I showed you earlier, and you look behind her, who's that? Who's that white-haired man? What? It kind of looks a lot like Brent Spiner. Is Brent Spiner making a cameo this season on the Orville? Kind of looks like him, doesn't it? With all this incredible behind-the-scenes footage, we also get a glimpse at what the shuttle pods look like now. They got a paint job, you guys. Check it out. Look at that. Pretty sweet, huh? Man, we got some racing stripes and some cool colors. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone took Gordon Malloy's suggestions on what the new shuttle pod should look like.
Paint some flames on the side, maybe like a rainbow unicorn, you got something.
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the unintentional reveal of Jessica Szohr's character name for Season 2 of The Orville. And I've previously reported that Jessica will be playing a Selayan security officer and has been cast as a permanent member of the crew. We also found out, thanks to a picture of a cast reading taken by director John Kasser, that her character's last name is either Cavalli or Kazali. It's hard to tell with that stupid piece of paper obstructing our view. Up until now, her character's first name was only known to end with the letters L and A. The rest of the name is covered up in this picture. But I now know what her character's first name actually is. And it could be something fun like Nala from Lion King, or it could be something beautiful and strong like Nala from Lion King.
Oh man, I can't believe you figured it out.
Thanks to a tip from Talking The Orville superfan Crow T Robot on Twitter, I found out Jessica Szohr's name as the new Selayan security officer aboard the Orville. And I'm going to reveal the name to you right now after I talk some more words out of my mouth. Crow sent me a picture that was posted to Instagram from the Orville's costume department. Apparently, the department, in conjunction with the amazing Buku company that makes car chargers that aren't only hip looking, but are also unbelievably affordable, gave every member of the cast of the Orville the new Buku rocket car charger as a way to suck up. I mean, be nice to the cast for all they do. They even put the characters' names on the boxes. Well, not Seth's character. What's up with that? I mean, you could have called him Ed or Captain or Mercer or something like that. But you can see in the picture, every charger has a character's name on it. John, Bortis, Claire, Kelly, Isaac, Gordon, and one more name. What could it be? It ends with L and A, and it's Jessica's character's name. What is it? What is it, JP? Tell us. Boom! It's Tala. Yes, Jessica Szohr's character is named Tala Cavalli, or Tala Kazali? I'm guessing it's Cavalli though, because that sounds even more better. I'm personally looking forward to meeting Tala in the upcoming season of the Orville. Though I do think it's weird that she's playing a Selayan security officer when Halston Sage is already playing that role aboard the ship as Alara Katan. Huh. And even though I've been talking about the rumor that Alara is being written off the show, or at least having her role severely reduced, there has been no official word from production that Halston is leaving at all. Okay, you guys? Nothing official. And I did tell you before that I thought they were going to have her character get injured because she's getting weaker, because she's been away from her planet for so long, and her planet has like really high gravity, and so she's starting to get weaker because she's been away from her planet and she needs to go back and recuperate. But that also is not official. Nothing's official. Also, some of you have pointed out that in a recent interview, Halston said that she gets to do a scene with a horse in the upcoming season, even though falling off a horse is a great way to get injured. Hey, look at that picture of the awesome Buku rocket chargers that were given to the cast of the Orville by the very nice people in the costume department. Everyone gets a charger. Seth,
John, Bortis, Claire, Kelly, Isaac, Gordon, Tala, and Alara. Alara? How could they forget Alara? I mean, they got one for Tala, the new Solayan security officer, but why didn't they get one for Alara, the old Solayan security officer? And why would the ship have two Solayan security officers? They're gonna be so embarrassed when they realize they forgot about her, you guys. It's almost like Alara's character was no longer part of the cast or something by the time these gifts were given out. Huh, that's weird. To be honest, you guys, I would be really bummed out if Alara was gone from the show for good. I don't like it. And there's only one person that can brighten my mood when I feel like this. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Grimes.
There's no one around, nobody I've found. I'm alone on the ship, so alone on the ship.
Congratulations. You are fully dilated to 10 centimeters. You may now give birth.
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about the upcoming season of The Orville, episode 4, which I'm currently referring to with a working title that I came up with called Somebody Pregnant. That's right, I don't know who, but apparently in the episode Somebody Pregnant, there is a character on the show who is pregnant. Now before I get into everything, let me show you how I know that somebody has a bun knocked up in the Duff oven in this episode.
When it comes to 20-year-old Andrea Leonard, you are the
Now that filming for the first 6 episodes of season 2 has officially wrapped, the names and roles of certain ancillary characters are starting to make their way onto the Orville's IMDb page. Now FYI, no important roles or cameos or anything jaw-dropping will be showing up on the IMDb page until season 2 starts to air. And that's fine with me. Seth MacFarlane, the cast and crew want there to be lots of surprises for viewers who love the show, and I think that's great. I mean, if I find anything out though, I'm going to tell you about it, but I love surprises. Now, I will have lots of official news to report about the Orville for the rest of the year because that's one of the reasons I make Talking the Orville. The main reason I make this show is to provide a place for all of us to talk about stuff, crack wise, and hopefully provide entertainment to you guys with my shenanigans. Sometimes I am privy to the occasional inside information about the Orville, or I'm able to put 2 and 2 together about something that I find online, but otherwise I'm here to have an egotastic fun time. But I do have to say, I know for a fact that a gentle hammer has been brought down on the Orville cast and what behind the scenes stuff they're allowed to share online. And I hate to say it, but I think this show is probably a big reason for that. I'm like a social media Columbo, you guys. Wait, that's a really old reference. I'm like a social media Dixon Hill, you guys know. Even with this audience, that's a pretty old reference. Why am I so old? What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Somebody Pregnant! If you look at season 2, episode 4 of The Orville on IMDb, we have a slew of new roles added to the cast for that episode, including Brandon Young, who plays obstetrician number 2. That's a baby doctor, in case you guys didn't know. That's what Dr. Huxtable was on The Cosby Show. No, that's probably a bad reference.
Felony aggravated indecent assault in the case of Andrea Constant as victim. The jury deliberated for less than 2 days.
Why don't you give the chicken to these people that's going up and have some sauce?
So who's pregnant? I mean, lots of people were getting freaky last season, if you guys recall. Ed got down pretty hard with Charlize Theron in episode 5. I mean, he made himself vulnerable in that Sappy Hollow program, which apparently makes girls ready for sexy time. He also briefly got jiggy with Kelly in the end. The end of the season, not literally in the end, perverts. Besides, you can't get pregnant by doing it that way. Or can you?
Okay, I'm confused. Do you want to bang Derulio?
Bang, be banged? Why are you so hung up on labels, man?
Bortis laid an egg last season. Could Topa have a new baby brother or sister? Well, brother in the upcoming season? I'm pretty sure Yaphet and Claire weren't using protection when they hooked up. Of course, Yaphet could be made out of spermicidal petroleum jelly.
I really don't see this as a possibility, but John was knocking boots last season as well. And I only mention that because I'll look for any reason to see Ensign Turco's ample nacelles again. Some of you have mentioned that perhaps Alara gets pregnant. Now, if Halston is even temporarily taking leave from the show, which is still not confirmed, by the way, okay, you guys, but her getting pregnant and then wanting to go back home to Saleya so that her unborn child can gestate in a high-gravity environment, that would make sense. In episode 2 of the new season, called Home, Robert Picardo does return to play Alara's father, Ildis Katan. But I'm going to rule all of that out because I just hate the idea of Alara leaving because she gets pregnant. That's just way too soap opera for my taste, and unbecoming of all the amazing writing we've had so far on the show. Check this out. Here's a behind-the-scenes picture posted by the Orville director John Kasser from an earlier episode in the season. Here we see Ed, Kelly, Alara, and one other person, possibly Tala, but more than likely Dr. Finn, in sickbay looking at a monitor for some reason. Now, what the hell are they looking at? It looks like it could possibly be an ultrasound, but no matter what they're looking at, this is from one of the earlier episodes in this season. They could be looking at Alara's deteriorating cells from being away from a high-gravity environment for so long. What is it? A little FYI about this episode. According to IMDb, it was written by Seth MacFarlane and is directed by Robert Duncan McNeil, aka Tom Paris. Now, Robert was the one who directed the episode shot at CSUN, so expect to see Jessica Szohr as Tala with the rest of the away team at what I'm now assuming is a Regorian city or settlement or something like that. Another option is that some one-off character from the episode is pregnant. I mean, it could be the character played by Jennifer Landon called Eukania. She's a pretty lady with a pretty name and really the only character listed with a first name, so she must be important to the storyline. She could be pregnant. There's also a Camp Guard #1 character and a military officer character. Is Eukania in some sort of camp, and is she pregnant? But with whose baby? With security guards and camp guards being in this episode, I'm guessing we have a situation where the crew has to escape with Eukania from the camp. That's just how TV works, you guys. If you have a camp and you have a security guards and you have camp guards, it's a sci-fi show. You have to escape from the camp. That's just what we do. But if Eukania is the one who's pregnant, why do we care? Is this some sort of peacekeeping baby? Like Eukania comes from people who's at war with another people and she falls in love with someone from the other people and his baby batter takes root in her romper room and they're in love, so her uterus becomes their uterus because they caught feelings for each other. You know, kind of like that episode of TNG where that Han Solo guy was trying to reunite those two ding-dongs from warring planets so they could bring peace to the galactic Middle East.
Initiative on the ship is no laughing matter.
You will come with me now!
And he's being hunted by enemies who could trigger a war.
They're threatening to attack the Enterprise.
On Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today, we're going to have a great time talking about Seth MacFarlane recently being spotted making, and I quote, goo-goo eyes with Halston Sage the other night at a jazz club in Los Angeles, and what this might mean for Alara Katan in Season 2 of The Orville. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, or good news, really. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of news because that means I have to do something. And if you knew anything about me, you'd know that I love doing nothing. Ask my buddy Ron. He'd be the first to tell you I'd work all day if it meant nothing got done. Yes, on Monday night, June 4th, Seth MacFarlane performed at Herb Alpert's Vibrato Grill and Jazz Club on Beverly Glen. For those of you who don't know, because you don't live in La La Land, Vibrato is a great club because it brings music and food together in a sumptuous harmony for an experience that's a delight to all the senses. My buddy Ron, who I was telling you about earlier, he loves that place because he's a huge jazz aficionado.
On nights like this, when the cold winds blow and the air is awash in the swirling eddies of our dreams, come with me and find safe haven in a warm bathtub full of my jazz.
Thanks to a fan of the show on Twitter, Joe, who broke this story to me and sent this pic in from the event of Seth sharing a private booth and cuddling up with Halston Sage. So it would appear that Seth and Halston are back together. Now I hope things work out for these two wacky kids, but what does this mean with all the rumors about Alara Katan being written off the show? Seth MacFarlane wouldn't fire his girlfriend, would he? Would he? Like I've been saying the entire time, it's never been officially announced that Halston is leaving, though it still seems like it's a huge probability at this point. Perhaps it was put in the works back when things weren't going so well between the lovebirds, but things change. Hearts change. Personally, I've currently been reconnecting with someone from my past where the breakup was a pretty horrific and dragged out experience, and now I couldn't be happier with how our separate journeys have led us back toward each other. People change, situations change, everyone is on their own path, and sometimes your path will coincide with someone else's path, so you can walk together for a little while as you head towards your separate destinations. Synergy. But if these two really are trying to make a go of it, that doesn't mean that Alara leaving isn't still the best thing to help nurture their relationship. Leaving a job and getting fired from a job are two different things. Pro tip, getting fired from a job is always better because then you can collect unemployment. I mean, if you knew anything about me, you'd know that the only thing I love more than doing nothing is money, especially if I'm getting that money for doing nothing. So why do I feel that Alara leaving the Orville is still on the table despite Seth and Halston getting jiggy with it? Well, let me tell you. I talked words out of my mouth many months ago about the rumor that Alara was being written off the show, then about how I heard that Seth MacFarlane and the producers of the show didn't necessarily want to get rid of her completely because she's become such a fan favorite and that it might negatively impact the show. So they might have Alara get injured because being away from her homeworld for so long has caused her abilities to dissipate over time. This would give them the perfect opportunity to test the waters a bit by having Alara go back home to Solea by the second episode or so and see how fans react. Have her space Skype into the ship every once in a while to check in or something like that. That way they can bring her back later on if there's a fan uproar. We also know that Robert Picardo is returning to the show as Alara's father in episode 2 of the new season, Home, directed by John Kasser. Now, why is Ildis Katan making an appearance in episode 2? Does Alara need him for some reason? Why is the episode called Home? Is someone going home in the episode? Why are they going home? For how long are they going home? Then later, we found out that Jessica Szohr had been cast as a member of the crew, and I hypothesized that she might have been cast to replace Halston Sage as the new Solean security officer. But really, I was just thinking out loud when I said that. Then recently, we see leaked footage from the Orville Season 2 shoot at California State University Northridge, where we see Jessica Szohr really is playing a Solean security officer named Tala in the scene. This only amplified the possibility that Halston Sage could be leaving the show, at least temporarily. Then, to make matters worse, I told you guys about the entire main cast of the show getting free car chargers as gifts from Buku. The car charger people! Everyone's character name is listed, including Tala, but Alara's name wasn't included in the gift package. What does that mean? Why doesn't Halston get a car charger like everyone else? Does she not drive a car? Just recently at the television network upfronts in New York City, the entire cast of the Orville went to the event in a private jet to pitch the new season to advertisers. Halston Sage was with them. Here she is on the red carpet. But she isn't seen in any of the cast photos. But why? Maybe she doesn't want to step on the toes of the new direction of the show and Jessica Szohr replacing her, assuming there is a new direction of the show and assuming Jessica Szohr is replacing her. I did find Halston during the event, though, hanging out with Alara's Obi-Wan herself, Penny Johnson-Gerald, aka Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Oh! Girl, I don't even know how to manipulate this thing. It's good. No, you're doing a good job. I'm doing a good job. Hey, you guys. This is from Penny and Halston. We love you. Right. so much. So very much.
Now, while there is a lot of evidence to suggest we're going to see less of Alara in the upcoming season, that doesn't mean that it's true or not true. Sure, what if they planned on writing her off the show months ago? That doesn't mean it wasn't a mutual decision. Halston Sage is an actress, and while The Orville is an amazing opportunity, I'm sure she would want to do movies or shows that better showcase her talents that don't involve such a big ensemble cast. Maybe Seth is wise enough to realize that having your girlfriend also be your employee isn't conducive to a healthy relationship in most cases. And vice versa. Maybe Halston doesn't want her boyfriend to be her boss. I know how I'd feel if I was in their place. Damn. I would love to be in Seth MacFarlane's place, you guys. Hell, I wouldn't mind being in Halston's place either. I bet you guys I'd rock a little black dress on the red carpet. But let's just say, now that time has passed, that Halston and Seth might have changed their minds, and Alara isn't going anywhere. She's going to be part of the entire second season. I personally don't feel like that's the case, but really, what the hell do I know? Seriously, you guys. I don't work on the Orville. So what if Alara stays? And please don't quote IMDb to me. Halston Sage has been included in all episodes of season 2 of the Orville since season 2 was announced to be 14 episodes long. IMDb, especially with a show as secretive and tight-fisted as the Orville, is only partially reliable this early on. The current main cast is automatically rolled into the list as a default. You'll also find Jessica Szohr and Chris Johnson's names automatically in the cast list because it was announced that they're on the show next season. IMDb is user updated like Wikipedia, so don't expect any cameos shown or main cast listings to be completely accurate until the episodes actually air. The only listings that are accurate are those of non-essential cast members like Man Number 2 or some random character that you'd never be able to guess what their role on the show is for. They didn't reveal that Rob Lowe was playing Derulio until episode 9, Cupid's Dagger, aired, even though Rob Lowe actually did portray Derulio in the pilot episode, Old Wounds. They wanted it to be a secret. It was a secret. Now, one of my arguments of why I still think that they're sending Alara back to her homeworld is because of the fact that Jessica Szohr is playing a Szolan. Alara mentioned in the pilot episode that it's extremely rare for anyone from her world to join the Planetary Union, so that when one actually does, they fast-track them through the ranks. There are 3,000 ships in the Union, and with such a small amount of officers enlisting that have superpowers, they're not going to have 2 of them serve aboard the same mid-sized cruiser. That's just inefficient. As far as writing a TV show goes, it would be lame to have 2 women with the same height and build play characters that are so similar looking in character makeup. But that's just it. We don't know anything about Jessica's character Tala, except that her first name ends with a vowel and her last name starts with a K. Kind of like Alara Katan. Oh, and her mom, Denala Katan. That's weird. Anyway, just because we saw Jessica as a Szolan security officer at the CSUN shoot doesn't mean that she's a Szolan security officer at all. She could be a shapeshifter of sorts. Maybe she comes from a chameleon-like race of people who could slightly change their appearance to a certain degree. Maybe Alara does get injured, but they need Tala to pretend to be Alara in order to keep the Rigorian Council in check during the away mission. Tala could very well be the new navigator who takes John Lamar's place next to Gordon at the helm. Perhaps Alara does want to go home and leave her post in episode 2 when she gets injured, but her father Ildris convinces her to stay because he's had a change of heart when it comes to serving in the military, though I doubt he's changed his mind about humanity as a whole.
Well, yes, the humans, the hillbillies of the galaxy.
I do know that at least 6 episodes of the upcoming season have been shot and are ready to hit the editing bay full steam ahead. So whatever Seth MacFarlane has decided to do with Alara in this season is already done. And I'm sure that the rest of us have a very long wait until we find out exactly what's going to happen. But whether Alara Katan stays or goes, probably goes, we're going to get through it together, you guys, okay? I'm here for you. JP's here to kiss the boo-boo. Just like Yaphet was there to help Bortus when he had tummy problems.
Ah, dude, it stinks down here. What the hell you been eating?
Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about more damning evidence that has just come out to support my theory that Alara Katan won't have much screen time in Season 2 of The Orville.
Oh, come on, JP. We've been through this over and over again. Halston Sage is listed on IMDb as being in all 13 episodes of The Orville in Season 2. IMDb is on the internet, JP, so you know it's true.
You guys, it's like Abraham Lincoln said in his 1861 inaugural address before Congress.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet, my dudes.
I might have paraphrased that quote a little bit, but you get the gist. Last year, when I broke the rumor that Halston Sage is being written off the show next season, I had no idea that so many tidbits of evidence would just keep revealing themselves all the time to support my claim. So here I am again with another update on the sitch. I've told you before that I'm pretty confident Alara Katan will be leaving the show by episode 2 of the new season and be replaced by Jessica Szohr, who will be the new Solayan security officer aboard the Orville. It's an episode called Home, where Robert Picardo returns to play Alara's father, and it looks like the crew of the Orville will finally be making a visit to planet Solaya, which is something we've all been dying to see. But that's something I'll be getting more into in an upcoming episode of Talking the Orville, so stay tuned for that, you guys. Now here's some official Orville news I can tell you about right now. The cast and crew just got back from a mid-season hiatus to begin filming episode 8, or at least continue shooting episode 8, which looks like it's going to be part 2 in a 2-part story arc coming up next year. Seth MacFarlane and the rest of the cast are right now at stage 15 on the Fox lot, making more 25th century awesomeness for us to hug our donkeys in anticipation to. Personally, I hugged my donkey twice this morning alone. Very alone. But there's one problem with the production. Halston Sage isn't there with them.
What? Where is she, JP? You sexy son of a bitch. How can they film without Alara Katan? What if someone needs their pickle jar opened?
I can tell you where she is, you guys, okay? Just calm down. Halston hasn't been working on the Orville because she's already moved on to another project. She's currently shooting a movie called The Last Summer that went into production a few weeks ago in Chicago and Cleveland. Here's a pic Halston just posted on Instagram on Father's Day.
When you're shooting a movie at Wrigley, you bring Dad with. P.S. We are inside the scoreboard.
The Last Summer was recently acquired by Netflix and is an ensemble romantic comedy revolving around a group of teens navigating relationships with family and friends over a Chicago summer before going off to college. It stars KJ Apa from Riverdale and Maya Mitchell from, oh my god, I'm sorry you guys, who cares about these people? The important information is that this is the first real proof that Halston Sage isn't working on the Orville right now, and production of season 2 has moved on without her. So it looks like Alara really isn't going to be doing much in the upcoming season, and some of you are already comparing her to Tasha Yar from TNG, who was killed off by a tar monster in the first season, but I don't think that's an accurate or fair comparison at this juncture, you guys. It appears that Seth MacFarlane and Halston Sage are on very good terms, like really good terms. He's getting his jar of pickles open behind the scenes, if you know what I mean. And it doesn't look like Alara's getting killed off, and she might have the occasional appearance via the view screen once in a while during the season. So instead of equating her to Tasha, maybe Dr. Beverly Crusher would be a more accurate comparison. Beverly left the Enterprise crew for the entirety of Season 2 and was replaced by Dr. Blasky, but then returned in Season 3 to finish out the entire series. So there's still hope that while Alara is taking a break from the Orville, that she might be coming right back in Season 3 to pick up where she left off. It's just too early to say. I also found confirmation of Seth and Halston's relationship from Halston's grandmother of all people. Helen Schrage, Halston's Gamma, confirmed to RadarOnline.com recently that the two are in fact dating, and when asked about the couple's difference in age, she said, quote,
I don't think there's anything wrong with them dating. Everyone seems to be okay with whatever she's doing.
The article says here that the funny Family Guy creator and blonde, who's nearly 20 years his junior, star together in the dark comedy Star Trek prequel, The Orville. Helen also said that she hasn't met Seth MacFarlane yet because he's in New York and Halston is there most of the... Wait, I can't stop thinking about that article calling The Orville a Star Trek prequel. What the hell are you talking about? The Orville is it takes place 100 years after the last. For the sake of this episode, I'm just gonna have to move on from this, I guess. Okay, moving on, back to the story. Halston's grandma said that she really looks forward to meeting Seth. Nope, I can't get that Star Trek comment out of my brain. I think this episode's done. Yeah, I'm done. It's done, right?
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time going over, once again, the Season 2 trailer of The Orville that recently premiered during the San Diego Comic-Con. During the live show, one of you mentioned to me that one of the clips in the new trailer kind of looked like it was from Season 1. So I decided to dive deeper in and see if this was in fact true. Did they reuse a clip from the previous season in this new trailer? After hours of research, you guys, I was able to debunk that claim. They didn't reuse a clip from Season 1 in the Comic-Con trailer at all. That's because they reused over 20 clips from Season 1 in the new trailer. To the ego computer! Okay, Seth Trekkers, here we are again, checking in with the Ego computer to dive even deeper into the Season 2 trailer of The Orville that premiered during Comic-Con. So soon, I know, but hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. Like I said, there are bits and bops from Season 1 laced all throughout the trailer to throw us off the scent. But let this be a lesson to you guys. My super sniffer can go up to 11. Hey, 6 Spinal Tap reference, JP. Hey, thanks, JP. I love you. And I you. So I'm going to once again go through the Season 2 trailer of The Orville, and I'll point out and explain to you where you can find certain clips in this Season 2 trailer that actually come from Season 1 of the show. Let's do this thing. Of course, we start out with a beautiful top-down view of the ship. I actually got mixed up in my previous trailer breakdown when I said this is a view of the bottom of the ship. I got confused by the placement of the lights in the middle quantum engine. I forgot that there's actually a small bank of lights on the top of the engine and not just on the bottom. We got Soleil. We got Ed getting ready to go down to the planet. And then, right here, you guys. This scene looked very familiar to me when I first saw it, but I couldn't find it in Season 1 anywhere. I mean, I might have missed it, but I was psychotically thorough, you guys, okay? So it's pretty rare, but I might have missed it. You never know. This dude right here, walking off the bridge, looked very familiar to me, and I figured out who he is. I found him in the Season 1 finale, Mad Idolatry. He's just an extra. How do I know this guy's in Mad Idolatry? Here, check him out for yourself. Here's the scene from Mad Idolatry. My favorite episode, by the way. There he is right there, and there's Claire standing next to Captain Mercer. So with the extra from Mad Idolatry being in this shot, and Claire's hairdo, and the fact she's standing on that side of the bridge, it seems obvious this is the episode Primal Urges from last season that was filmed actually right before Mad Idolatry was filmed, where you can see this dude. Okay, now this is Season 2, you got the new badges, you got the first contact scene from episode 4.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Thanks, I plagiarized it, like 9 different things.
He plagiarized because these are aliens from another world. They know nothing of Earth or anything, so you can say whatever you want, it's all new to them. Okay, right here, see those 2 shots? Well, this is actually a composite of 2 different scenes from Season 1. The first shot being something each and every one of you should be able to recognize because you've seen it in almost every single episode. It's a scene that's taken from the end of the opening theme, you guys. The following scene where it comes out of light speed, that actually comes from the episode New Dimensions after the ship sideswipes the edge of the spatial anomaly and almost gets flattened. Whoa, look at that. Ed making googly eyes. Alright, this scene right here, okay. We've talked about this in my full review. First off, this is Dr. Finn's new hairstyle. You'll see here that everyone is wearing the old badges from Season 1 with the color here. But I'm pretty sure that this shot is from Season 2. More specifically, and please keep score, you guys, because we're going to be grading all of my predictions when the new season starts. We'll be doing it together with the live stream show. But I'm guessing this is the final scene in the first episode of season 2. Alara decides to leave and go back to Solea. Claire is in the front of the shot here because she's Alara's Obi-Wan. They probably had a scene where, you know, they shared some words and she gave her some words of wisdom or something like that. Gordon's not in the shot at all because he's the one flying her to wherever she needs to be flown to in order to go back home. My other prediction is that we don't get the new metallic badges until after Alara leaves the show. I'll show you why I think that here in just a minute. Got the new star system. Gordon's pretty excited about it, even though I don't think he likes star mapping. We got Tala there. Okay, this scene right here. Now in this scene, we actually see the new armory set for season 2. Got some pew-pews right over here. Now I'm guessing this is the first episode of the season because Alara is in the shot, so it makes sense. She looks kind of somber, like she's thinking about leaving and wants to talk, you know, to Bortus about it. You know, maybe a little, I don't know if I want to work here anymore. I do not care. Hala. Okay, this shot right here. Pretty cool little sequence. Whoa. We're traveling somewhere in season 2. Where are we going, you guys?
Hey, this is a really cool shot. I can't wait to see where this fits in season 2, JP.
Well, you're not going to see this in season 2, you guys. This is from season 1. In the episode Priya, when the crew hightails it out of the 29th century before they can be sold to the highest bidder. It was sped up about 25% for the trailer. And then they go exiting the vortex. Take that, you winch. Oh, that's my girlfriend Charlize. Don't hurt her, Kelly. Okay, this scene here where Gordon's like, oh, the deflectors are down. I don't know for sure if this is in season 2 or not. I couldn't find it in season 1, but you can see that Gordon has the old badge here with the color on it. And there's also a scene in the episode New Dimensions very similar to this, and the information on the screen in front of Alara is exactly the same as in this shot. One cool thing you'll notice about the show, especially if you're batshit crazy like me when it comes to research, is that there's different information on these screens in every episode that corresponds to whatever's going on in the episode. It's pretty cool. The attention to detail of the people who work on this show is awe-inspiring. So this could be something that was cut from New Dimensions, or it's part of season 2. The fact that Bortus isn't sitting at his station makes me think it might be from the episode Primal Urges, because it seems Bortus and Isaac are down on the planet trying to rescue people while the rest of the crew stay aboard in that episode. So this, of course, leads to the arm wrestling scene here. The arm wrestling scene is new. We haven't seen that before, but I think it's important to note that we all seem to agree that we're thinking this is the scene where Alara realizes she's losing her strength. I'm guessing Isaac wins the match, or perhaps she gets hurt in the process and everybody gets freaked out. Oh my god, Alara's hurt. How's that even possible? She's a superhero. Let me move on forward. Talk to that. Okay, right here. Okay. Right there. Okay, guys, while we got a lot more season 1 scenes to uncover, this one here is the most shocking. If you're not sitting down right now, you're going to want to go ahead and do so. Perhaps do a few shots of Soleil tequila while you're at it. This scene is taken directly from season 1, you guys.
Nuh-uh, JP, you stupid bastard. Are you blind? This is from the new season, you idiot. Alara is wearing the new metal crew badge. You can see it right there in front of your fat, petter-bearded face, stupid.
I think I just spit on my screen doing that. Okay, let me wipe that off. So yeah, that's true, you guys. She is wearing the new metal badge. Also, that really hurt my feelings right now. You guys shouldn't say that stuff about me. So yeah, there she is. She's got the new metal badge right there. This must be season 2, right? It's not like they're going to use digital trickacies and superimpose a metal badge over her old badge to try and fool us, except wait, they super did. This scene is taken from the episode Into the Fold. Take a look. Here it is, Into the Fold. Whoa, so much fold stuff going on. Season 2, fold. Season 2, fold. Season 2, fold. Season 2, fold. 2, fold. 2, fold. 2, fold. What? Okay, I gotta go take a 45-minute nap after that. I'm feeling dizzy. I've never been lied to so hard before, you guys. I don't believe it. Okay, this shot there. You see the 3 krill.
Oh my god, how are we gonna get out of this jam? Are we gonna have to fight the krill in season 2?
The answer to that question is yes, we are, but not these krill. This shot is taken from the episode New Dimension, right after the Orville enters this 2D universe to hide from Larry, Moe, and Curly. Alright, season 2 right here. This winter. Here we go. This is episode 4. Okay, right there. You see those 2 shots? Alright, the first clip you saw was taken from the episode New Dimensions when the Orville grazes the side of the second dimension while in light speed. Whoa! And the second shot is also from New Dimensions when the Orville uses the quantum bubble that John invented. It's sped up by 6 or 8 times to make it look more spicy in the trailer. But attached to those scenes is actually some more quick shots from season 1. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, you see all those shots? Alright, one of those shots was taken from the first episode, Old Wounds, when we're hugging the donkey. I would always recognize somebody hugging the donkey, you guys. The other shot also taken from Old Wounds right before they go into Red Alert. We also had a shot from the episode Krill, the battle scene. You'll also see Bortus's panel explode in the season 2 trailer there in that quick set of shots. This shot here of the torpedoes launching, quad torpedoes. That's actually taken from the episode If the Stars Should Appear, when John Gordon and Bortus are fighting the krill. And then we shoot the krill ship. Boom! Boom! And that's when we get an extra boom. Boom, bitch! Here are all those scenes once again from the trailer that you just saw from those different episodes. Boom, fighting the krill. Oh, torpedoes, boom. Oh, but that explosion there, we didn't see that explosion. That's because that explosion is actually from the krill episode, the opening sequence, that battle scene, when we're pulling out of the atmosphere and we blow up the ship. That's from the episode The Krill.
Man, this is bitch.
It is bitchin', Patrick Warburton. It's very bitchin'. Alright, that scene right there. Is directly from Into the Fold. Here's the Into the Fold version of it. Boom! Exact same scene.
You have my word.
Alright, here we go.
I thought it might be fun to do
Big old block of season 2 stuff, you guys.
Is this an order?
No.
Then I do not wish to have a joint party.
I'm the same way, Bortus.
For my birthday to be my day.
That's right, my birthday month.
I am not afraid.
All right now. Saleya.
Don't do this.
Don't do it. All good stuff. There's episode 4 in season 2. Get into that later. Saleya. I'm going to be getting into all this stuff in separate episodes. Okay, right there. I have to mention that really quickly. This scene here with Ed knocking out a krill biatch. You're my biatch, krill. I was looking all through the krill episode. As you can see, we're on a krill ship. Couldn't find it anywhere because I'm pretty positive this is from season 2. As you can see, I know that we have a big krill episode. And if you really go shot for shot, you can see that Ed is wearing his cool new jacket. His Picard style jacket. You gotta do it if you're the captain. So this is definitely from season 2. Alright, let's go. Boom! Explosions.
Great pain, Captain.
Alright, that scene there, right here, that is directly from New Dimensions. What's up? Pew! Horse riding, fight. This is all season 2 stuff. This might be Primal Urges, but I don't know for sure.
The planet's breakoff is accelerating.
So
This works. It'll work. I think it'll work.
What? Cool new shot there. Cool location. Cool jacket.
Take a message back to your people.
Okay. What? We got a strobe effect here of shots. This shot here, season 2, of course, there's Tala and Bortus. They come across a big pile of bones. Whose bones that is, I don't know yet. We'll find out in season 2. Can't wait. And then the next shot is another Bortus getting exploded there. That was, what did I say? From the Krill episode. Confirmed. Alright, this here we were all questioning this shot that we all noticed. We were like, oh my god, is that the Orville? It's hard to tell. As the ship get destroyed? Yes, I have confirmed that this is the Orville, officially exploding. But it's not exploding in Season 2. This is exploding in the environmental simulator in the episode Firestorm. There's the ship exploding. You can line those two shots up. They're exactly the same. Oh, we got a shot here of the ship going through some sort of vortex. That, again, is from the episode Priya. You can see it right there. Priya! When they're escaping. Then we got the ship exiting this vortex here. That, of course, is from Into the Fold. Here's the Into the Fold version. We're coming for you guys. We're gonna get you. So again, let's watch all those scenes. All those shots. Here's the actual shots taken from Season 1. Priya, Into the Fold. And after all that, we get... Sweetness. And there you have it, you guys.
On behalf of the Planetary Union, welcome
First contact, that's what you want. So there you have it. 20 or so clips from the Orville Season 2 trailer were actually from different episodes of Season 1. And you might wonder what I think about so much deception being shoved in our faces for the Comic-Con 2018 trailer. Well, you guys, I got something to say. I think it's pretty awesome. It's the reason I've been such a fan of Hollywood movie magic for most of my life. The point of any trailer is supposed to be to get us excited about what's to come without spoiling what's to come. This trailer did just that. Reusing scenes from the previous season in such clever ways excites a TV and movie geek like me to no end. And not in a gross way, you perverts. Well, maybe a little bit. By now, I'm sure you understand that one of the reasons I love the Orville so much is because I love Star Trek so much, and the Orville is the only thing that's keeping the spirit of Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future alive. And that's important, because in this day and age, having hope for a better future is something we all could use a little bit more of, I think you would agree. And when I think about what's going to be in store for we Seth Trekkers in Season 2 of the Orville, John Lamar says it best.
Boom, bitch! That's what I'm talking about right there on that boom! Lieutenant! Sorry?
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time officially welcoming the Orville's newest permanent member of the bridge crew, Jessica Szohr, who plays the new Solane security chief aboard the ship, Tala. Jessica Szohr is an American actress originally from Minneapolis, Wisconsin, who started her screen career appearing on television shows such as My Wife and Kids, Joan of Arcadia, What About Brian, and CSI Miami. But many of you might recognize her more recently from shows like Complications, Twin Peaks, Shameless, and a breakout role as Vanessa Abrams on Gossip Girl. Due to growing up in Wisconsin, she's very outdoorsy and is a fan of the sports ball team, the Packers of Green Bay. Her connection to the world of Seth MacFarlane comes from her role in the movie Ted 2 as Allison. She also played one of Taylor Swift's best friends in the music video 22, which of course is ridiculous because as all of us Swifties know, Tay-Tay's real life best friend is her fans. Shake, 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 shake. Oh, damn it. Now look what you made me do. Though we've talked about Jessica Szohr's new role as Tala many times on the show over the last few months, with the recent release of the Season 2 trailer for the Orville at Comic-Con, we finally get a real look at her character and what purpose she serves aboard the ship. Tala is the new member of the bridge crew, taking Alara's role as the chief of security. And just like Alara, Tala is also from the planet Solea. One of the most interesting things about Alara was the fact that she has 10 times the strength of a normal human, which made for not only cool feats of strength being displayed in Season 1, but also added the interesting dynamic of a cute, petite woman who could rip you apart with one finger if she wanted to. So I'm glad that this type of character journey won't be lost now that Halston Sage's role as Alara has been reduced. But I am very interested next season to see what Jessica does when Captain Mercer asks Tala to open a jar of pickles for him.
Hey Tala, want to open this jar of pickles for me?
Ew, no. What? What are you trying to say to me right now?
Never mind. Can you move this really heavy thing for me, please?
Oh, why didn't you just say so, silly Billy?
In the Season 2 trailer, we get lots of shots of Tala doing her new job aboard the Orville. Here she is sitting next to Ed during the First Contact episode. Here's Tala, ready to go on an away mission with Ed, Bortus, Claire, and Kelly. I'm assuming also from that same episode. And here she is working her station aboard the bridge where Alara used to sit. But we have no idea what type of personality she has as of yet. Now, Alara was young and a bit green, which made for some great moments on the show. She was basically a superhero who didn't have a lot of confidence in her own abilities as a leader yet, which was amplified even further when she realized that she was afraid of fire. Except for that one time when she wasn't afraid of fire.
Somebody put that out!
What happened to automatic fire suppression?
That's the panel that caught fire!
But at the moment, Tala's a real wild card. I'm guessing she's cool if Ed wants her to serve aboard the ship with the rest of the crew. But who is she? What is she like? Is she like a smartass like Ensign Rowe was? Or maybe she's more of a leader type like Kira. Maybe she's a crotchety old nihilist authoritarian who only wants to watch the world burn like Dr. Polanski. I really have no idea. But also, who is Tala to Alara? Like a relative? Maybe Tala is Alara's sister who was always jealous because Alara was the one who always got the attention from her parents, even though Tala was the one who always did everything her parents wanted her to do, while Alara, the spoiled brat, was the one who left Solea to join up with the hillbillies of the galaxy, leaving Tala behind to care for her butthole parents. Which is maybe why when Alara returns home in the beginning of next season, she has a fight with another Solean that very much looks like Tala to me, you guys, but it's hard to tell from this angle, but I'm pretty sure that's Jessica Szohr right there. But they're fighting over a weapon during the tussle, and I'm wondering if Tala is actually the one who fires at Ed when he appears at the Katan household in the gravity suit. Maybe Tala sees a spaceman approaching her father and she reacts to the perceived threat to protect him. This is when Ed's like, hey Tala, now that I'm losing my head of security who has superpowers, I can really use someone like you who also has superpowers to replace her. Not to mention you have a similar height, weight, and hair color, so it would be a pretty easy transition for me. Or maybe Tala is Alara's cousin, you guys. John Billingsley, who played Dr. Phlox on Enterprise, is also supposed to make an appearance in this episode. Could Alara be the Doctor's daughter, while Tala is the Doctor's daughter? So there's going to be some sort of conflict, which instantly gives the viewers insight into Tala's character right off the bat, while also giving us a reason to invest in her story. The writers on the Orville are what they call in the TV business really good at writing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely excited to meet Jessica Szohr as Tala next season, and I want to say to her, Jessica, welcome aboard. But I'd also like to know what you guys think about the literal changing of the guard in the comments below. Now, though we've been over and over and over this for the better part of a year on the show now, some of you refuse to believe that Alara is leaving the show despite all the mounting evidence that's been piling up for a long time now, including Tala actually working as the new security chief in the Season 2 trailer. And that the only scenes of Alara shown in the trailer that are new are here, 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 and here. That's it. Everything else is from Season 1.
Oh, but wait, JP, you idiot. Alara can be seen right here at her station wearing the new metallic badge for next season. She's not leaving. She's in every episode. Stop trying to start shit, stupid.
Sorry, bud. I already proved that that scene is actually from last season in the episode Into the Fold. They just digitally altered Alara's badge to throw us off. And though I've already given all of you reasons not to quote IMDb to me because it's not 100% accurate and it's user updated like Wikipedia, and it's not even important because I can give any one of you who want one a credit on IMDb. IMDb is not an exclusive club. I'm sure there's still going to be like 7 of you out there that tell me I'm wrong because IMDb gives Halston stage credit on every episode of the Orville in Season 2, even though I've been paying attention to the Orville's IMDb page since the show premiered, and they gave her credit on all the Season 2 episodes before the season was even finished being written. Fine, I give up. Let's assume that Alara Katan is in every episode of Season 2 of the Orville, you guys, okay? Fine, that's what we're going to assume. But I want you to tell me, what purpose does she serve aboard the ship? I mean, we know that Tala is the main security officer now. That's officially been proven in the trailer. Now, do both of them serve that role at the same time aboard the ship? Is that something that makes sense to you, that two dark-haired Solayan females with similar height, build, and uniforms work the same job on the same ship? Do they sit next to each other and say creepy things like those twins from The Shining? Do they finish each other's sentences? Do they fight over who gets to open the jar of pickles when Ed needs a door open during an away mission? Does that sound like something a television show would do? I mean, have you ever watched TV before? I mean, I don't have any ideas that make sense on how Alara and Tala work the same job on the same ship, because that sounds like a situation that doesn't make any sense. So, with your obvious superior intelligence, explain to me how I'm wrong and how they're both serving aboard the ship together. Please, I beg you. Not knowing is driving me insane. JK, you guys. In case you couldn't tell back there, I was being sarcastic. I'm a stinker. There's no way Alara's still on the show.
Egotastic FunTime.
Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time saying goodbye to one of the Orville's most beloved characters in its epic but very short history. Today we say farewell, pay homage, and talk about the best pickle jar opener the Planetary Union has to offer in my final episode about Alara Katan before her departure next year on the Orville. Since its debut last year with the pilot episode Old Wounds, the Orville has given audiences a wide variety of interesting characters to root for and follow during its 25th century interstellar adventures of space exploration and discovery. But none more adored than the Solayan security officer known for packing a lot of power within her compact exterior. Alara Katan may be a bit younger than most security chiefs aboard a Union ship, but what she lacks in experience, she more than makes up for with determination, physical strength, and compassion for her fellow crewmates. Alara's super strength comes from the fact that she was born on Solea, a planet with a much higher gravity compared to the planetary average, meaning that despite her demure appearance, she is far stronger than most other humanoids, and Solayans usually don't join the military, so when one of them does, the fleet tends to promote them quickly, which is why Alara finds herself with such a high rank aboard the ship at such a young age. The role of Alara Katan is, of course, played by Halston Sage, an American actress previously known for her roles as Grace on the Nickelodeon series How to Rock, Amber on the NBC show Crisis, and such films like Paper Towns and Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. A charming and striking actress, and by striking I mean damn! Halston Sage continues to gain fame working alongside notable actors and filmmakers even after leaving the Orville, including playing the role of Erin on a Netflix original movie called The Last Summer. I, like most of you, have a special place in my heart for Alara, you guys. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. She's the first character on the show that actually made me realize that the Orville is more than just some Star Trek spoof, which is what all the critics were being paid by CBS to say about it when the show first started airing. Episode 2, Command Performance, which is an Alara-centric episode, showed us that the Orville has heart and could provide hope to the viewer and showcase how the ship's crew really does care for each other. At this point in the season, we were still getting used to the premise and were unsure of these characters. Just like Alara was unsure of her own abilities when put in charge of the ship, she's the first character besides Ed and Kelly that we got to know. We saw how vulnerable and afraid she was of doing the wrong thing and screwing up, and we learned that this show is about real people being put in extraordinary situations 400 years in the future, and that while technology has changed a lot in that time, people haven't. The most endearing moment for me in that episode was when Alara was trying to psych herself up to walk onto the bridge and try to take command of the crew, who all of which are older and more experienced than she is, so she tries some liquid courage to help her out.
You gonna throw up? You gonna throw up? No. You're alright.
Since Alara is so green yet is in charge of everyone's safety, she has a lot of pressure on her. And right away we find out that she's not as confident in her abilities as everyone thinks she is. Just look at her office. It's very barren and devoid of personal objects, unlike Captain Mercer's office, which screams, "Hey, look how fun I am. Aren't I fun? I like Kermit the Frog. That's fun." I'm surprised there's not a poster of Christy Brinkley on the wall. Alara's office is no nonsense, probably because she's wanting to give her crewmates the impression that she's a no-nonsense person who's totally confident in her capacities to do her job correctly. It's the attention to details like this that makes the Orville such a great show. Alara is just so cute and petite with a pleasant personality that it's easy to forget that she has the strength of 10 men and can snap you in two with one hand if she wanted to. And if you think this episode of Talking the Orville isn't going to have multiple montages in it, well, you're just a stupid topa. Here's some of Alara's best moments from season 1.
All right, Lieutenant Alara Katan, our Chief of Security.
Yes, sir.
You're Solayan, right?
I am, sir. What he means is, if you don't already drink, you should probably stir.
Perhaps we should not be talking about this.
Doc, stay behind Alara.
Which one's Alara?
Oh, I'm Alara.
Sorry, still learning names.
I loosened it for you.
My turn. Not bad for a female, huh?
If you're gonna try and sell me that Solayan female, I've already got one.
She is not for sale. She is my pet.
Wolf.
Want to open this jar of pickles? Yes, take the leg.
And post a guard on these quarters.
Aye, sir. The whole power grid is out. That's not all. Found this in the cargo hold. Somebody put that out!
What happened to automatic fire suppression?
That's the panel that caught fire! I can do this. Oh, whoa. It's Drulio.
The guy she cheated with? The one with the stuff coming out of his head?
How'd you know about that?
You told me.
Yeah.
Those aqua blue eyes against that deep blue skin? Ridiculous.
My mom redid our bathroom in those colors. I guess it's nice.
Wow, you're just gonna have to date Isaac here.
I am fascinated by the interpersonal behavior of biological organisms. I would be happy to attempt sexual relations.
I'm actually just sort of working on myself right now. But thanks.
Oh my God!
What do we do?
Run!
Now last year I talked about the rumor that Halston Sage and Seth MacFarlane were dating and that they eventually broke up, and I heard another rumor that the breakup didn't go well and that she's leaving the show next season. Now I didn't know how much of the dating thing was accurate, plus it's none of our business really, I suppose, but the part about her leaving the show seemed to become more and more true as the months went on after I started talking about it. Now I'm not going to rehash all of it here because I've already done that like a million times in a million episodes, and quite frankly, I'm over it. Halston has her own reasons for not wanting to commit to the long hours of being on set and having to wear facial prosthetics all the livelong day. That's fine. But the latest piece of evidence, not that any more evidence is really required at this point, of Halston no longer working on the show popped up the other day online when Penny Johnson Gerald posted this on Twitter. "We are almost finished shooting season 2 on the Orville, and without hesitation, I can say I love my castmates." She then goes on to list the entire cast, except there's a name missing. We have Seth, Adrian, Scott, Peter, Jay Lee, Mark, Jessica, BJ, Kai, #FinFamily, and Chad, aka Clyden. But no Halston. Does that mean she doesn't love Halston anymore? Doubtful. She just didn't tag her because she hasn't worked with her on the show since the beginning of the year. But it's okay, we still have a couple more episodes of Alara to talk about when the Orville returns for season 2 at the end of December. But unless the show makes an official announcement of Halston leaving, I'm moving on from the topic, and I'm sure you guys are fine with that. But there's lots of things about Alara that I wanted to find out if her story had continued. Like, does she ever overcome her self-esteem issues? Or find a guy who isn't insecure about her super strength? Or how did she magically get eyebrows between episodes 1 and 2? I love Alara, I love Halston, but I love the Orville more, and that's the most important thing. I hate to lose anyone, but it's not a deal breaker for me as long as the show continues to be so damn good. Besides the long hours and Halston having to wear prosthetics, which are no doubt uncomfortable, playing Alara was also rough because she's the one character on the show who had to do the most running for some reason.
Right now, I cannot work here anymore!
All compromised. Evacuate ship immediately. Inner hull compromised. Evacuate ship immediately.
Captain, we need to shut this down now.
Ed and Kelly's relationship got the most attention throughout the season, but Alara got more exposure than the other characters on the show, with episodes Command Performance and Firestorm putting her front and center. When Lieutenant Payne gets trapped under debris in Firestorm, Alara's pyrophobia causes her to hesitate in saving him from dying to death. She blames herself for the loss. Mercer declines her resignation and suggests she try and discover the cause for her phobia. We are then treated to a series of nightmarish situations aboard the ship that puts Alara's skills to the test and eventually gets her to realize she can handle anything that's thrown at her because she's a strong black woman who don't need no man. It was such a great episode that required Alara to not only face her fears but also everyone else's fears, and she handled every obstacle that came her way, even evil clowns. But I guess the true test would be going up against an evil hobo clown.
What's the difference?
Hobo clowns are the most dangerous because they're hungry.
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking the Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today, we're gonna have a great time talking about the Orville just wrapping up filming this week for season 2 and everything I know so far to expect when the new season starts. And I'm talking about spoilers on spoilers on spoilers, you guys. But today is also laundry day here at Egotastic FunTime, so I'm not really looking my usual sexiest F self right now, so I think this might go more gooder if we take this episode of Talking the Orville over to the Ego computer. Let's go! The Orville just concluded filming season 2 on October 15th, which initially began production earlier this year on February 26th. The cast and crew celebrated with a rap party in Los Angeles, California, complete with a performance by Seth MacFarlane singing Fly Me to the Moon. And they even had a DJ, you guys, so you know that party was lit. Seth gave members of the production crew these amazing personalized Orville bottles of Tennessee bourbon and embroidered throw pillows. He even made friendship bracelets for the cast. Aww. Now that filming is complete, we just have to wait until Sunday, December 30th for the premiere. So with that in mind, let's run down everything I know about season 2 so far, starting with the new season will be longer with 16 episodes as opposed to the 12 episodes that we got in the first season. 15 of those being all new and one of them being a carryover from the last season called Primal Urges. More about that later. Fox is experimenting with a new commercial break format this season called Jazz Pod or JAZ Pod? JZ Pod, yeah, that's probably what it's called. Where they'll have shorter commercial breaks, but more often. This will actually allow for each episode of the Orville to have a 52-minute running time as opposed to the usual 43-minute run time. Longer episodes, you guys! Season 2 will have a myriad of guest stars making appearances on the show. Confirmed guests are Marina Sirtis, F. Murray Abraham, Tony Todd, Ted Danson, Tim Russ, Robert Picardo, John Billingsley, Patrick Warburton, Leighton Meester, Ron Canada, Victor Garber, and it's not official, but I put a lot of work earlier in the year into figuring out who that two-horned lizard creature in this behind-the-scenes pic is, and it's being played by Jason Alexander. I'm sure it's him, and you can quote me on it. Ding! Guest directors next season include Jonathan Frakes, Robert Duncan McNeil, Rebecca Rodriguez, sister to Robert Rodriguez, and a very loose rumor that LeVar Burton might have something to do with this season, but we don't know if he's directed something or maybe made an appearance. Neither is probably true, so don't quote me on that. 2 new cast members will be joining next season. Chris Johnson playing a character named Cassius, whose role is shrouded in mystery and intrigue, hiding like a shadow in the darkness of entropy. Basically, I know nothing about what his role is as of yet. Yeah, seriously, I know nothing. Hey, I'm more surprised than you guys are, okay? And as we all know by now, Jessica Szohr will be playing the role of Tala this season, who is the new Solayan security chief aboard the Orville, taking over for Halston Sage, who unofficially has left the show. Because reasons.
JP, you stupid tank-smelling, fart-brained bastard!
Damn it, angry nerd troll, what are you doing on my computer?
It hasn't been announced that Halston Sage is leaving the show, idiot! She's listed as being in all episodes on IMDb.com, stupid! So go kill yourself, you fat bearded hipster!
Well, that's fair. The IMDb part, not the hipster part. Also, my beard is epic. You got me on the fat comment, though. I can't argue with that. But it hasn't been announced that she's leaving. You're right. But I also know that she hasn't filmed anything with the rest of the cast for most of the year. And every time Penny Johnson-Gerald gives a shout out to the cast of the show, she tags everyone except Halston Sage, including the other day when she tweeted about the show being all wrapped up and she's gonna miss everybody. So she's gone, man. Sorry. Also, you've fallen right into my trap, angry nerd troll. I've booby-trapped my ego computer to banish intruders to the Phantom Zone. So take that, buttface.
Oh no, not the Phantom Zone, JP. From the 1980s sequel to Superman, aptly named Superman 2. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Good, he's gone. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so season 2 of the Orville will concentrate more heavily on the sci-fi aspect of the show as opposed to all the comedy that we got last season, though there will no doubt be lots of humor spread throughout the show. In season 2, the scripts will be much more ambitious, dealing with not only space exploration and discovery, but a lot of attention will be paid to the lives of the crew and their interests, relationships, and histories. Kelly and Claire will be forming a closer friendship this season. We'll also be seeing Ty and Marcus Finn a lot more, #FinnFamily, as their relationship with Isaac grows. Seth MacFarlane has confirmed that season 2 will give us more insight into Isaac's people, the Kalon. We'll also be dealing with Bortus and Clyden's new family dynamic with their child Topa, who will be the equivalent of an 8-year-old when we see him again, and he'll be attending school on Earth. But don't let that fool you. Season 2 picks up just a couple months after the events of the season 1 finale, Mad Idolatry. It's also been confirmed that we'll finally find out whether or not Bortus can actually sing. Besides returning to Moklis and seeing Saleya for the first time in season 2, we'll also be visiting an Earth-like planet where the Orville crew get to make first contact with the civilization in the hopes of bringing them into the planetary union. This episode was directed by Robert Duncan McNeil and features Tala as the new security chief. It also looks like things don't necessarily go as planned with the mission in this episode. This is also where somebody pregnant, because there are people cast in this episode as obstetricians. When we're finally introduced to Saleya after Alara decides to go back home in this season, we'll get to see how humans deal with the planet's excessive gravity by using gravity suits. I'm also hoping to see what happens if the suits stop working. With 24 director and producer John Cassar joining the Orville full-time this year, the action sequences are expected to also be beefed up considerably in season 2. Cassar directed the Krill episode episode last season, which turned out to be one of many fan favorites, and the Krill are expected to make a huge comeback this season as well. The Orville will also be getting a big 2-part episode this season, but whether or not that episode has to do with the Krill is yet to be seen. Besides the Orville shuttles getting a new paint job, we'll also be getting a new armory set, which we seem to have already gotten a peek at in the Season 2 Comic-Con trailer. Also, I'm not sure if they just ran out of space on the lot to store the pods, or if we'll actually be getting a time travel episode this season, but I do know that a young kid was cast to play a newsie in an episode, so do with that information what you will. Canute and Lieutenant Dan will be making a comeback this year, and in this behind-the-scenes shot of Jonathan Frakes and John Cassar filming a scene at the Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, it looks like we're going to be treated to a special performance of some kind. With Seth MacFarlane's love for live orchestra music, not only in his free time but also in use with every single show he's ever created, I'm guessing we're going to be seeing some sort of alien orchestra this season on the show. It's already been revealed by the costume and makeup departments that we're going to be dealing with a huge bump in the amount of aliens we see on the show, so having an orchestra would be a perfect opportunity to do that. Earlier this year, writer Joe Menosky left his job at Star Trek Discovery and joined the Orville, which is a great get because Menosky is best known for writing the episode of The Next Generation, Darmok. In true 90s Star Trek fashion, the Orville goes to great lengths to make sure the science of the show is sound by consulting real scientists. Season 2 informally has Neil deGrasse Tyson on hand as a science advisor. Tyson, of course, also works with Seth MacFarlane and Brandon Braga on Cosmos, which is currently coming back for its 2nd season next year. Though I don't know exactly where it'll fit in the upcoming season, last year's Heldover episode, Primal Urges, will be making its debut in Season 2. This is the episode where Nana Visitor was originally cast to play a leader of people who has to get everyone off her planet before it explodes. Nana had to drop out of the role at the last minute and it was recast. With who, you might ask? I don't know. But this episode will also include Bortus and Clyden trying to repair their relationship with some kinky Moclan sexy time fun in the environmental simulator that features other scantily clad Moclans ready to join in on the single gender action in a big way. Another thing we know about the next season is that with all her foibles from last year, with, you know, having an entire planet from another universe creating their entire civilization on believing her to be a deity for over 2,000 years, that the Planetary Union Admiralty isn't very pleased with Kelly when the Orville returns later this year. Though they're extremely pleased with Ed. I can't wait to see how that storyline plays out, you guys. We do know that with the addition of Cassius and Tala, that some sort of rift between Ed and Kelly happened. Are one of these characters playing a love interest of some kind? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. We're also going to be getting some small changes to the uniforms this year with metallic badges and epaulets, however you pronounce that, but I'm guessing it won't happen until after Alara leaves. One strange bit of news is that MJL Puppet Design was commissioned to create puppets for the Orville, and it looks like it has something to do with Kelly and that little girl from Mad Idolatry. What the fuck? We're only a couple months away from the Orville returning to our televisions, you guys, and I'm excited to see what's in store. And with the huge priority the show is to Fox, and the very warm reception given to it by fans from all around the world, I'm also excited to see how the Orville influences the creation of new sci-fi shows across the board. I don't know about you, but with the declining interest by sci-fi fans for all franchises that have the word star in its title, I'm really looking forward to all the fresh blood coming in to create something new. And there's really only one man out there who can express to you how the Orville makes me feel like I'm on top of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Grimes.
But I'm on the top of the world and looking down on the Orville. It's the only explanation I can find. It's the love that I've found ever since you've been around. The Orville puts me on the top of the world.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. I also got all my laundry done. I'm looking fly as hell. How about you? What are you most excited about with the Orville returning this Christmas? What's your biggest hopes and fears for the series? Where the hell is Yaphet? Are you keeping track of all my predictions? Because we're going to be keeping score when Talking the Orville live stream pre-show super chat explosion returns as a companion to every new episode of the Orville, this and every season of the show for the rest of time. You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me, you guys. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.